You're wondering about your special someone, your sweetheart, your desired partner. You're asking yourself, if we get back together in a committed relationship, will it be just like it was before? Or will there be a change? Or even if you're still in the getting to know each other phase, what will it be like once you're in a relationship? Will he or she show the same behaviors then? If there's a break right now, as I said, and you're asking yourself, if something starts up between us again, will it be just like it was before? Or will there be a change? Then the question is, what kind of change? Will it turn negative or completely positive? Or will it just be the same as before? Maybe in terms of his behavioral patterns, always this on, off, again and again. And that's what we're going to take a look at now. We're tapping into the energy of the present moment, the most prominent energy. And dear ones, collective readings can't apply to everyone, and the court cards are gender neutral. That means your counterpart can be male or female. And I always find it so wonderful how you adapt it for yourselves, including what is shown. Even if, for example, I say work, you know exactly, okay, for me, that means school or further education, right? So I think that's absolutely perfect. Or an activity, right? That could also be, just something outside, And as I said, let's take a look at that now. So we're not looking outside, but rather at the energy of your loved one. A very warm, loving hello and a wonderfully heartfelt hug to all of you. You are so sweet, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your wonderfully kind comments once again, and also to everyone who has chosen to become a channel member. Thank you so much. A warm welcome. And also to everyone who has rejoined or come back to the channel membership. Thank you for that. And to each and every one of you, thank you for your loyalty. But now let's get started here and see if there's any change. Oops, I'll reshuffle again. This is different. All right, now though. Now I've got a better rhythm going. Okay, then let's take a look at what shows up. And the chain gladly. Okay. Ah, that's already off to a good start. So we have 6. Do you see that? Yes, exactly. We have the 6 of cups. So you can already see, with your special someone, this overthinking. Maybe he was always overthinking, or maybe he still is right now. And there's this, maybe she never wanted to blame herself either, always rejected the blame. But there's also something about deception connected to his behavior. And what I now see so wonderfully is really this spring in love, this newness. Something new begins here. We have a new beginning. It could also be that a past issue is a major topic here. So, as I said, the past, no matter how long ago it was, I'm calling it the past. You had contact, definitely, yes. And love was involved. Maybe it was also the case that he let himself be misled by his environment, or he was too much in his head and didn't really know what is he actually doing here in this connection. Whether it was a relationship, a life partnership, or just a friendship with benefits, or even just the getting to know each other phase. But here, something new is beginning in love, and I think that's really wonderful. So let's see how things continue here. Okay, so fantastic. So we already have the Hierophant here. And with the Hierophant, we have a topic that's also occupying him. What's going on here is, yes, that's his issue, trust. Maybe he couldn't trust himself, or he was always jealous himself, so he didn't trust, perhaps. We have, after all, a past issue, something he's still struggling with, and it has been an issue for him. But here too, he's going along with something. What exactly that is, we'll definitely take a closer look at, a deeper look. And right now, I see him in this area of loneliness. And with the Hierophant, it's also shown that trust, as I said, is a big issue because something is weighing on his mind here. He's currently trying to go along with or process something here. And again, wonderfully, optimism. There is optimism here. So there's something here where I'd say, okay, things are starting to move, something is happening. And then let's take a look at what I find absolutely fantastic here again. We have the Four of Wands. And as is typical with the Four of Wands, it really shows this, this sense of security. Maybe he was also lacking a sense of security. He's working on something. Something is going on here. We're dealing with issues from the past, but also with a transformation. And right now we're seeing movement here, moving more towards openness. And this is a transition. We're in a transitional phase, a transition, and there's still a part of him that maybe feels a bit trapped in a certain tension. But there is also this closeness. This has to do with you. We are in an energy here that is directed towards you. But something is moving him here, so something is occupying his mind. Yes, maybe it's a transformation, definitely some kind of change. How and what exactly? We'll take a look. Oops. So let's have a look. What is still at this very moment being shown here? What I truly want to show you. Well, if she just goes along like that, so I have to smile now because we have the topic of jealousy and trust very prominently present here. Yes, so it shows that this is a really, really big issue. We are once again in a phase of change and transformation. So let's take a look then. It's fantastic. He's doing it absolutely perfectly. I can already say that. And now he's doing it even more perfectly. Well, I don't actually know him, but I like him right now. So let's take another look. Let's take these for clarification and those, yes. Good, so absolutely top notch. With your loved one, what I find incredibly central, really super central here, is that I see him reaching for this happiness. We have issues from the past being shown here very clearly. Past, jealousy, that's his issue. And you're right in the middle of it, not just on the sidelines. And now he's heading straight for it, the thing he's always held on to. We see the change here. What he's always clung to from his past, this tenseness, this holding on, maybe never really experiencing happiness completely, never really being in lightness or happiness. And with him, yes, I see the complete change. The change is a realignment. A realignment. He spends quite some time dealing with it because this is about making a decision. Here we can clearly see that this is being replaced. It's also reflected in these cards. We have the letting go. It's a process of letting go of what once was. We have a transition here because where he was always unsure, and that has to do with you, the connection, even if there was a relationship between the two of you. I actually find this really interesting because here I have a connection. A life partnership, B, friends with benefits, and C, a friendship. So as I said, we have everything compressed here. I honestly can't remember ever having something like this before. In any case, I think it's great. And that's the connection. It really shows all the connections that matter here with you. And yes, there was a withdrawal. He never completely withdrew. I was about to combine two words into one again, but that doesn't work, does it? Here he has closed himself off to you, not really opened up. He knows on a conscious level that he has disappointed you and is also disappointed in himself. Above all, this sorrow, this worry when it comes to love, because here we are completely centered in the heart opening. And that's what he's dealing with right now. But unfortunately, as you know, we are collective, right? That's it. The decision has been made. His determination to steer his own happiness, and that's about moving into change. And now, if we look here, we ask the question, if a relationship develops between the two of you or rekindles or something evolves, even if there's a break right now, no matter what it was about, we are in the present. We've now asked the question, and here I see complete change. I see a total turnaround for the better. I see change here as well, so in that area too. He is thoroughly cleaning up his inner self. So he's really tidying up inside himself. We're seeing a complete cleanup here, a turnaround for the better, and healing. The tide is turning, and as I said, all these connections, whether it's a relationship, it could even be a marriage, right? Life partnership, marriage, yes, friends with benefits, as mentioned, that's also being addressed, and also the area of friendship, because even in the friendship area, there was already more attraction present, I want to add, than he ever actually told you. Because I always sense this, his inner restlessness, this indecisiveness, this And basically his situation, the one he was always in, that he kept dragging back and forth, there I see the change, because that's a burden, now a burden. Something he never wanted to see all this time in the past. He has tremendous. Here we also have someone with fears. This it's not going to work out. This maybe not wanting to commit. This stable, because there's always this underlying thought here too that something is going to happen, and I have to completely realign myself. As I said, it's the same here. Everything is being completely wrapped up now. That's what has always been this heaviness. What has made it hard for him to make a decision, to change. Now it's moving towards stability, towards realignment. And this huge boulder of problems, as he sees it, becomes very small here. Then there's nothing left that can't be solved. So he is working through everything here, step by step, freeing himself from this burden and this transition. Wonderful. And there he also knows what makes him happy, who makes him happy. Above all, I really see a transformation happening with your loved one here. Transformation, the transition, the healing, the big change for him or for her. It's a major transformation, and it leads completely into their own center, into this warmth towards themselves, this allowing love, above all being able to open up. Because I also see conversations here. So I see the change here because jealousy was always an issue, right? This issue of trust is also very, very clearly present here. There's this trust, first of all, in oneself. I see him very clearly again and again wavering in his self-confidence, you know. He kept showing something different on the outside to always cover up what was really going on, so it wouldn't be so obvious. So I always like to say it's this kind of entertainment for the outside world, you know. Entertainer. And as I said, jealousy was also an issue there. Maybe those are also issues, like when you went shopping, for example, because I also see the topic of being in public here. It could be that you were out somewhere or met up with friends, and then maybe he didn't completely believe you, or maybe he did believe you, but still in his mind, in his head, something was always going on, like, maybe someone else will come along after all. Who is she talking to right now? What's really going on there? And that's his issue, an issue with trust. And here I also see a complete transformation, a change, the trust in himself, and above all, giving you his full trust, giving you that sense of ease. That was an issue, this lightness between the two of you. He was always the one who didn't really know, always put on a front for others and so on. Then maybe he ran away. We also had an on and off situation, but what I find wonderful now is that if there was an on and off, I now see complete stability here, that it won't happen anymore because I see a complete change. Here too, there is more communication of warmth, honesty, and genuine love. And you can be sure that it is truly sincere and meant seriously. Above all, I see more communication here, an opening of the heart, so that more is said to you and there is more conversation about what problems or issues he might have or what is bothering him, because I see these calm, heartfelt and warm conversations. And also, maybe he didn't always give you his full attention. He was, let me put it very bluntly, he maybe didn't really care how you were doing, you know? Or this kind of attitude, well, you'll manage, you know? something like that bush, right? That kind of tactlessness. And here I see that everything is really shifting because everything that caused stress here is being let go. Because here I actually see tears of joy. Tears of joy because you can feel the change too. Maybe you're already sensing something now because I feel a very intense, strong connection between the two of you. So really, there is definitely a change happening. I have honest, deep loyalty. At the beginning, it could be that at first there's this caution, that things are kept a little secret, but only a little. But that's just because he wants for himself. He always needs to feel completely secure. And he finds that security with you, right? That's right. But he himself, it's only for a little while. It doesn't last long. That doesn't mean, okay, we're back together now. And then boom, everything is public again and it goes viral, right? That will come. Yes. At the beginning, as I said, he's still cautious because he still has to sort things out with his environment here. And then he also wants to be completely sure, or he wants that security for himself, that you might not leave him again right away. That's his issue. And that's the thing. He just wouldn't be able to handle being left. Oh God, no, what is it? There's still a bit of that. That's what others might think, but he's slowly letting go of it. So as I said, it's only at the beginning, just a little bit. It could be just 2 weeks, 2 months, something like that, roughly. And then it becomes complete. Here, it's all about stability. You have a solid connection. The intensity of your relationship is there. And yes, it will be different because there's more of this genuine togetherness, this mutual support. There's more balance, more harmony between you in conversations when you meet, him coming to you, you to him, both of you together. Maybe going somewhere together, taking trips, doing things together. So that's absolutely fantastic. Above all, what I find so wonderfully beautiful here is a completely clear direction, which also means a domestic or spatial change. It could also be that he wants something so stable with you, like moving in together. That's what happens when a move or a change in living situation is indicated. And there, as I said, complete happiness, total healing when it comes to love, truly living this deep love, living your love. If you were in a relationship before, maybe there was always something that just didn't quite work. Something was always off, something always got in the way. And now that's all moving into stability. And above all, I see loyalty, honest, genuine, deep love, the great love. And that's exactly what's fully active here, moving in that direction. And yes, there's a change. If you get back together, it's a change for the absolutely positive. And as I said, there might be one thing or another. Nobody's perfect, right? But I don't see any lies here. No intrigue, no deception, no waiting room with gummy bears, cookies, sandwiches, and loads of coffee, tea, and mineral water. Nothing like that, No, I don't have that anymore. No on and off, no pushing you away or anything like that. Instead, it's really important to him to make you completely happy. Above all, I have openness. He's opening up to you more. Not from 0 to 100, but more and more. You'll also notice the changes in your loved one, that more and more is being said, more and more of these little steps, small steps for him, but then suddenly, whoosh, there's a really big leap, right? Maybe he drank a lot of energy drinks or something, and then energetically there's a huge leap where you think, whoa, right? Wow. Was just so you're really surprised yourself at what he's revealing to you now, what he's saying, and how he's opening up to you. And here's the thing, if you want, you can accept it, you can smile and simply enjoy it. So let's take a look here at the whoa. The tendency here is dreamy. We have feelings again, love is back in play, the Two of Cups. The conflicts, his own inner conflicts, or the conflicts that have always existed between you in your relationship, are being overcome here. And the attraction, the connection between the two of you is so intense, so strong. This is heading toward love. Your togetherness and reconciliation are being shown. So these loving encounters, this coming together, this connection of unity, you are once again forming a harmonious unit. And as I said, that will be completely replaced. So then we have the Ten of Pentacles. Here too, as I mentioned earlier, he needs security. Of course, you also need security. You never really had that with him, right? Sometimes it was like this, sometimes like that, and maybe it was a whole book full of question marks. Here it's all about security, completely. These shared life goals are what I see here. And out of loneliness, and that's exactly what's happening to your loved one right now. It's opening his eyes to this enriching experience he has had with you, and that opens his eyes to what he hasn't seen yet. And here I have the absolutely perfect closing statement: a stable, loving, honest relationship. Wow, beautiful. My dears, I wish this for each and every one of you, and I think it's so wonderful. You always make your own decisions and always keep your focus on yourselves, your self-concept, self-love. And that is always the most important thing, and that's what you do. And I think that's wonderful. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for watching and wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.